For decades, people around the world have displayed a range of special powers and abilities. These powered beings came together and built superpowered cities to thrive in. My name is Angus, and I'm a journalist for the Daily Deposit. My partner Sal and I interview the citizens of Super City, investigating incidents and exploits, and helping where we can, holding the powerful accountable. Because heroes don't do paperwork. Hello, super citizens, and welcome to Heroes Don't Do Paperwork, the only podcast about events both big and small in Super City. I'm one of your hosts, Angus, joined by my co-host, as always, Sal Bedfellow. How are you doing, Sal?
I'm not doing great.
Okay. I could tell. I'm your friend. You and I have been friends for a long time. I could tell. I didn't want to start off. I wasn't sure if you wanted to start right into your...
If you wanted to, call out my air of melancholy.
Yeah. Well, and the injury.
And injury, yes. Okay. It's a new year, right?
It's a new year.
New year, new me.
New year, new us, really. New show, new podcast.
New podcast, new job. New future.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I guess as we move forward towards the new, I find myself unable to let go of the old.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not ready to give up on 2022/2021/2018. All those great years.
Yeah. Well, you're clutching a lot of those calendars.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of got
so many good ones. This one is of firefighter dogs.
That is cute. I like
this
that.
one was the 1 year I actually managed to maintain my itinerary properly. Look at all the notes in this one, Angus.
Wow. Okay.
I'm worried that as I try to be a better me in this new year, what if I'm not? What if I end up being worse than, say, 2002?
Sal. Well, okay, we were all shittier in 2002. That's just the way the world works. But I don't think you should. I don't think you should. Just because you might fail doesn't mean you shouldn't try. You know what I mean?
Well, you say that, but case in point, the injury you pointed out earlier. Mm-hmm. I tried to be better this morning, and I tried to make a healthy breakfast. And as you can see, I put an egg through my hand.
Yeah, this is an egg. Yeah, listeners, you guys can't see this. The egg is still intact.
Mm-hmm.
The egg
perfectly formed egg through my hand.
Through your hand. Yeah, I thought it was. Were you cooking with like a teleporter? Is it like you put a bunch of ingredients in separate little pods and then they come together to make a meal?
That's exactly it. Yes, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
So to elaborate for the audience, what you do is you put a bunch of ingredients in various teleportation pods, and then you teleport them all to the same point in your kitchen, and then they come out as one complete product. I myself was trying to make a breakfast cake.
A
key ingredient of which is, of course, an egg.
An egg, yeah.
Unfortunately, I flubbed the timer, and so my hand was where all the ingredients were going to converge, the egg went through my hand.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Well, thankfully, it was just the egg and not the rest of the ingredients.
Unfortunately, you can't see the rest of my arm. But as I unravel this bandage,
no, Sal!
You can see the icing, the butter.
Wow. Yeah.
It's relatively easy to fix, actually. You just have to put everything back through the teleporter. It comes undone.
Yeah.
I didn't have time this morning. Teleporter here at work is broken.
I do want to describe this to everyone. You've got a golden, flaky cake arm. Mm-hmm. Your normal arm hair is done in, of course, frosting. Is this watch made of fondant?
It is a fondant watch. Wow. And you'll notice that my fingernails are capped off with little candles. Because while it wasn't my birthday, I do like adding a festive flair to my birthday. Sorry. I do like adding a festive flair to my breakfast cake.
Hang on, Sal. Is it your birthday? Did I...
It's unrelated, but it is also another reason why it's not the best day at the moment.
Oh God, Sal! Oh, Sal, I'm so sorry, man. Oh God, I feel so silly. This is, we've been getting
adjusted. Would a piece of cake make you
I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of want to try a little bite of your arm, but maybe we can save that for later. Maybe, I don't know. I love cake. Honestly, I'm a cake guy. Like, forget pie.
You're a
Forget.
cake guy? Did you
I
have a
no,
teleport?
no. Sorry, no, I'm not that kind of cake guy. I love cake. But you're right. We've been adjusting a lot. Obviously, we don't work for, we're not Sharp field agents anymore. We left that, super heroic stuff behind, and now we're journalists. It's a lot to adjust to. You and I weren't really writing much before then. Articles have been tough. We're certainly getting dinged for spelling mistakes. Our editor, Ed, he dings us for spelling mistakes. He dings us for all sorts of stuff like that. So times have been tough. Times have been tough for you and I right now. I mean, are you still living in a car, in the backseat of a car?
No, that unfortunately got impounded. I haven't been able to access my apartment.
No. Oh, no.
I am on the search again for living space, but
But you're crashing in that lab, that experimental lab.
I am crashing in that experimental lab. And the best part is, because they have so many experiments going on, they don't notice anything's amiss when I crash in one of the cages. So all I put on the little label "Experiment 0," and they all just seem to sort of respect that. So
you're sleeping in cages too these days.
Because
I got my kennel back at the Barkers. Yes. That's not great, honestly. A lot of tension.
So actually, I noticed. You got like a little mark on your nose. Are they hitting you with the newspaper again?
Yes. It's partly on me. I wasn't supposed to be on the couch.
But you love that couch.
But I love that couch. And honestly, I don't even shed. Like, they're the dog people. They're the ones covered in fur. It's just complicated. It's a weird dynamic, to be honest. They were talking. Sal, between you and me, I think I might move out. Right. Between the whole kennel they left me at last week episode, timeline's messy. A month, yeah. Last month, thank you. Yeah, last year they left me in a kennel, and I was part of a dog fighting ring. I had to escape. It was bad. It was bad news. But I didn't have anywhere else to stay, so I kind of went back up to their huge, penthouse apartment. It's nice and all, but it's not a great dynamic. So I think I'm going to be looking for a new place too. Actually, is there room in that experimental lab?
There's room for an experiment number 1 right next to experiment 0.
Okay. Honestly, I think
we're roommates again.
I would love to be roommates again. Remember when we were roommates?
It was a good time.
Remember
when we raised a child?
Yes, a fish monster. Yes. Our child was amazing. God, we're really going deep. We've on lived lore
quite
today.
The life.
We really have. It's every time there's a new year, I'm always looking back at all the things I've done. Okay, we are professionals though. We're writers, we're journalists. Do you have anything going on writing wise? Like, do you have a piece or anything you're working on?
Ooh, nothing interesting. I don't know. The mayor got assassinated.
Oh yeah, again?
Yeah. It's one of those things though. They're a cat person, so they still got like 7 lives to go. So
that's right. That's right. Well, we're wishing a speedy recovery to Mayor Sprinkles.
Mayor Sprinkles, if you're hearing this, know that the Daily Deposit is wishing you well.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, maybe we could write something on that.
Sure. I will make a note to wish Mayor Sprinkles well.
It's hard to write with that cake arm.
It really is.
Yeah.
The problem is that I made it so moist that it's hard to grip the pen.
Yeah.
I like a moist cake.
Oh yeah. You and me too.
Some people prefer a dry, yeasty cake.
I don't know who prefers a dry cake, but that person's clearly a monster. You and I, moist cake is where it's at.
What are you writing about?
Well, actually, okay, I got a headline here for you. Let me know what you think of this. Mime gets slimed in panto crime and does time. 12 clowns dead after mime goes on silent rampage.
It's good. I like the rhyming.
It's not bad, right? Well, I wanted to bring a little bit of levity to. Of course, there's a huge gang war going on right now between mimes and clowns in the circus
especially
district.
After the power vacuum left behind by the jesters.
Oh yeah, with jesters, all jesters vanished from the city at one point. We still don't know what's going on there. We assume it's a prank, but we don't know. So yeah, that left a power vacuum, and the mimes and the clowns are there's a real turf war right now. But a lot of all the mime crimes, very quiet, very quiet.
Silent but deadly.
So yes. Ooh, okay, wait. I'm gonna note that down. Silent but deadly. I'm gonna put that in somewhere. Can I use that?
Yeah, please.
That's good. Oh, man. Well, I know I want to start the year off right. I feel like we're on the right track for articles, at least for work. Maybe our personal lives are a bit of a mess. That's a bit of a mess. Let's work on those later. We've got this great work going for our articles and stuff like that. And then the third part of this is I want to really get this podcast popular. I want people to get into this podcast and just love it because like we are niche to say the least.
We had a solid 2.5 years, followed by a 5-year hiatus while we were trouncing through dimensions. And now we've had a good 3 to 8 months. Timeline's messy.
So that's exactly it. So the timeline being as messy as it is, it's hard for people to become regular fans of the show and to enter in at certain points. So what I want to do this year, my goal for this year, Sal, my New Year's resolution is to really focus on the podcast. If I haven't already been doing that for my entire life, so that's the plan this year. And I got us a great guest. You're really gonna like this guest. I think yes. I don't want to tip it too early, but probably some good stuff here with this guest. Okay. But we've just got to go. We got to do a quick ad for the other shows, and then we'll be back and we'll talk to our guest. Sounds good, Sal?
I don't think I'm allowed to object.
Yeah, no, we're not. Contractually, we have to, but we'll make it work.
Yeah. No.
Have you ever seen those lists on the internet that's like top 5 sandwich toppings, top 5 movies of the year, top 5 celebrities who have a very punchable face? You know what I'm talking about. The point is, all these lists drive us crazy because we have no idea who made them and how they even narrowed down their top 5 list. That's where my podcast comes in. My name is Tung La and I am the host of Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter. In every episode, with the help of a motley crew of self-proclaimed experts, we debate, battle, and work together, showing you the entire process of how we got there to create a top 5 list of any and every topic we can think of, like top 5 brunch menu items, top 5 fictional dogs, top 5 90s songs, top 5 Steves? The list goes on, and we will not rest till we rank basically everything. So join us every second Thursday in the Pod Cavern for Ranked, top 5 lists of stuff that don't matter.
Top 5, top 5, top 5.
Does it hurt to like bend your elbow or like
no?
With the cake
because all the nerve endings are cake too.
That's right. Okay. Well, thanks to our sponsors. I guess we're just kind of helping each other out. The other shows on the Pod Cavern Network. Thank you guys. But now we're back to the show. And I'd like to welcome our guest for this episode, Super City lifeguard Bramwell Smith. Welcome to the show, Bramwell.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Angus and Sal, especially given the difficult times you're both going through, it seems.
Yeah. Yes.
Honestly, for you to make the time.
Wow. Thank you for joining us. Already off to an incredibly considerate start.
We've done a lot of episodes. You're the first guest to ever acknowledge how in shambles our lives are.
It does. I mean, I don't want to be judgmental, but it does seem like you guys have work to do in the new year, and that's always exciting in a way.
It does. Really, truly. We were both taken aback. Most people just see us and ignore all the upfront problems.
Oh, no, it's very evident for me.
Yeah.
Well, I could see it as soon as I came in here.
Oh, Bramwell, thank you. I mean, that being attentive and watching these kinds of things, that's kind of part of your job, right? As being a lifeguard.
Exactly. I'm always on the lookout for people who are in trouble. And Sal, especially, you look like you need some lifeguarding. And, I can do some first aid on that arm if you'd like, pal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please. What would you recommend as triage for an arm that is also cake?
Well, it might hurt at the beginning, but I would start with cracking that egg.
You want me to crack my egg?
Well,
my
I'll crack it for you if you'd like. Yeah, just slam it right up against the table there.
Okay.
Oh, wow. That is...
Popped right out, didn't it?
Yeah.
You thought it was going to crack, but it popped out.
No, it's...
Eggs are extremely strong and resilient. So I tricked you a little bit there. It's now it's on the ceiling, but hey, it's out of your hand.
Yeah.
He's out of my head. Wait, hold on, Bramwell. Are you trying to show me that the egg is strong and resilient, and I too could be strong and resilient?
I'm also a big metaphor guy, so yes, exactly. You are an egg, Sal.
Wow.
And life is the yolk.
Wow. I'm not even sure I get that, but
This
that
is
sounds...
going to be a good episode. I can tell.
Wow. Well, Bramwell, I mean, for starters, thank you for helping Sal out. I mean, he's already, I can tell he's moving his hand around a bit more. It looks like you're in,
Look.
Yeah, and you can put your finger through your hand. It's really cool, right?
That hole will heal eventually.
I hope so.
Just Bramwell, is this kind of like, maybe you can use this as an opportunity to tell us a bit more about what it's like being a lifeguard in Super City? Because I won't lie, I just assumed you were hanging out near lakes or oceans or pools and kind of making sure people don't drown. But it sounds like you're a guardian of people's emotions as well.
Well, I take a holistic approach to lifeguarding for sure. I work at the pools, so I do a cycle around each pool in Super City. So
that's a lot. That's a lot of pools.
There's 12 pools in the city.
12, yeah, 12 is a lot.
Pools, and there's only 7 days in a week, so some days I'm at 2 pools a day.
Wow!
You have to do every 12 pools each week. And then in the summer there's 3 beaches in Super City, 3 city sanctioned beaches. Of course, there are other beaches.
The underground beach.
Yes, there's beaches that we're not supposed to talk about.
Yes, no, of course.
Sanctioned beaches
have
people like me as lifeguards.
Super City still hasn't acknowledged the wasteland beaches, the nuclear beaches. All those are not city sanctioned, so you'll not see Bramwell at those, and that's fine. You're looking after people.
And I would recommend perhaps in the editing process removing the words that you just spoke about those unsanctioned beaches.
Right. I'll tell you what. I'll put a note down, and I'll remember to take those.
He's
down.
really good at editing these things out.
I'm pretty good. I've never forgotten.
I just want to be clear. We really do not want people swimming at those beaches.
Of course.
In large part because they're not lifeguarded.
Exactly. So when you're on a beach or let's say a pool, because you're doing the pool circuit right now, because it's still pretty cold in Super City right now.
We do have the one winter beach open for swimming.
Of course.
But,
the roller beach. Yeah.
Lifeguards typically there's less demand.
Yeah, there's only so many ice beings in this city. You know exactly.
And you only see ice beings there. There's only so many. Regular people, they don't really swim, and the ice beings,
it's too cold.
To be honest, they're fine.
They're excellent swimmers. Excellent.
They don't need my help.
If you're an ice being, do you really need to cool off by taking a dip? Sure, it's fun, but do you need to?
I agree. Hey, I don't say that to their faces so much as they have faces, but they're pretty cool customers. I don't really enjoy. I don't enjoy winter beach patrolling. Let's just say that.
And that's okay. That's okay. So when you're at a pool, let's say, because you're pool circuit right now. So when you're at a pool, what are the kinds of things you're looking out for? What dangers maybe are people overlooking that are at a pool?
There's a lot of dangers in the pool. The first main one is when you walk through the doors. Sometimes we mop, and so you just make sure you don't slip on that floor at the main entrance. When you take out your membership pass out of your wallet, I've seen a few paper cuts. You got to be very careful with that. What I'd recommend, folks, is to take that card out at home. Don't put it in your wallet because those polymer bills can really scratch up your fingers if you're reaching in the wrong place to take that card out.
Wow.
Once you get in the pool, of course, there's your typical pool-related threats, and those are, of course, water and the slippery surface of the pool deck.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's also
I am hanging off of every word. This is incredible.
You may also be not surprised to find out that people often walk into the lifeguard ladder. Those are steel poles, low hanging, so we get some head bonks going on there. And of course, there are wiggle-woggle injuries. Some people call those pool noodles.
Oh wow! Okay, so those are pretty serious. They said your face took a pretty grim tone when you mentioned what was
Wiggle
it?
Woggles.
Wiggle Woggle.
Well, we had a couple swallowings recently,
Wow.
And when wiggle woggle goes through your intestinal tract, you do not want that to happen. Let me just tell you that.
That sounds rough.
You're not even supposed to put your lips to those things, let alone put your colon to them. So
Precisely, yeah.
Precisely. Well, Bramwell.
We call them woggle swallowers.
Oh, you do?
Woggle
Like,
swallows.
so you call that out. You're like, hey, blow the whistle. We've got a woggle swaggler. That is hard to
We
say.
go, warning, woggle swaggling.
Woggle swallowing. It's
Yeah.
hard to say.
Well, it's a TikTok trend is what it is.
Oh, I see. Because normally I would think like in an emergency, you want to be able to say the most concise thing in the fewest amount of words that you're not going to slip on. But of course, if it's a TikTok trend, you got to honor that.
Well, that's part of the problem is they uncovered that as a weakness. They thought, what can we do at a pool that will make it hard for the lifeguards to save us? And having to blow the whistle and say, warning, woggle swoggle, it's really
tough.
ties people up.
So you're saying there's a TikTok trend right now of people going to pools and putting themselves in danger in difficult ways for you guys to help them.
It's
and
hard to understand the mindset of a teenager these days on the internet.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, that's exactly it.
Wow.
It sounds silly when you say it out loud, but hey, that's the truth.
Hey, that's the world we live in. It's the world we live in.
Now, I've always had issues with safety precautions in public spaces.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, I'm on a bit of a libertarian streak these days,
And
I believe that someone should be 100% responsible for their own safety in any given space. I have no problem if you want a life preserver. I just think it should be your burden to bring one with you. I don't care if someone saves your life, but I think you should have to pay them once they have done so. So, Bramwell, you as a lifeguard, what is your take on helping others for free?
Well, philosophically speaking, I'd say I disagree with you, Sal. However, I think you would enjoy Libertarian Hour at the pools. Once a day, we have an hour just for libertarian swimmers, and the lifeguards are on patrol, but we refuse to intervene.
This sounds great.
To support the moral principles of the swimmers. So if they're drowning, we stand at the edge of the pool deck and cross our arms. And we do accept payment, like you suggested. That's the free market working at its best.
Am I able to outbid other people in danger so that I get priority service?
Yeah, last week, actually, we had 5 people drowning at the same time. We only were able to save the person who was paying us the most.
Wow.
That sounds great.
What a perfect system. Wow.
1 hour a day. The rest of the time,
Yes.
we work for our normal wages, which is $16 an hour. And we save everybody, whether they can pay or not.
Wow.
Yeah. It comes from the taxes.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, that makes me proud. When I make enough money to pay taxes, I will gladly, willingly support that kind of work. Because, it's no secret. Everyone's looking around. It's kind of a dark time for Super City right now. The heroes that save everybody. It's a big popularity contest. It's a lot of money oriented and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's nice to see someone such as yourself out there actually genuinely trying to help people. And it's less great to see you not really compensated that well. I guess $16 is pretty good. Well,
I mean, it's not my full-time career aspiration to be a lifeguard my whole life. I'm just doing this to kind of get my way through school right now.
Oh, that's great. Well, what are you taking in school? What are your goals right now?
Well, I'm a double major at the University of Super City.
Of course.
USC. And I'm studying musicology and radio broadcasting. I want to host my own classical music program on the radio.
Wow. That's wild. That's like, honestly, I mean, not to tie it back to us, but that's like the first time we've met anyone who's into like radio or podcast or any kind of like auditory medium. This is great.
Well, I'm surprised to hear that because that's how I heard about you guys. I love the podcast, and so I love listening. It can be pretty boring sitting on the lifeguard chair all the time. So I have some hidden earphones. I mean, you're not supposed to actually listen, but I always listen to the radio or podcast or whatever I can do to avoid hearing splish splash and all that.
well, that's that. Hey, we appreciate your support. So musicology, is that one of your majors?
That's right. Yeah, double major.
Double major, of course. Musicology, and then the other one was radio.
Radio broadcasting. Yeah.
Radio broadcast. So what is musicology?
It's just learning about music, the history of music, what
Cool,
notes
okay.
go next to each note, like different keys, the G, the C, all that stuff.
I've got a question for you,
Yeah.
Bramwell. Which note would go next to this note?
Well, you just sang an A sharp, so it'd be flat would be right next to that.
Oh,
wow.
wow.
Now
He's good.
Now it sounds like I'm good, but we just learned that last week, so that's kind of fresh in my mind.
Oh, well, hey, man.
We just had A sharp. I have a professor who specializes in A sharp, and so it's just top of mind.
Of course,
at the time.
God, I really like being around you, Bramwell. This is great. Like, I really enjoy talking to you, man.
Oh, great.
This is actually just kind of branching off that for a second. This is one of my favorite questions to kind of ask every guest. Of course, listeners will know everybody most people in Super City have some kind of superpower. Of course, I don't have one that I'm aware of, but that's okay. Sal's got this awesome gravitational field around his waist, right? Sal, that's pretty cool. Do you have a power that you'd be willing to share with us?
Yes, I do have a superpower. I'm sorry to hear, Angus, that you don't know one yet.
Okay.
Have any
I'm just a late
been left
bloomer.
for you yet?
Sorry?
Any hints?
I mean, it's hard to tell. So many weird things happen in Super City, like you'll be walking down the street and a car will almost hit you and it'll crunch up and you'll be like, "Oh my God, did I just make a force field?" No, it just hit a bunch of invisible people.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff happens a lot. So it's hard to tell. As far as I'm aware, though, medical experts have told me that I do not have superpowers. And hey, you know what?
I have a couple of standout ideas of what his powers may be. Always able to butter the right side of the bread.
That's true. That's a gift.
Able to guess a cat's favorite music.
That's true. That's true. I'm just a cat person, though. I don't know.
That's just instinctive, yeah.
And able to we determined that one was not true. As able to always get the shoes on the right feet.
Yeah, no, that's
that was just a lucky streak you had there.
I had a really good lucky streak going. But so we're keeping. I always tack yet onto that. Doctors and people tell me you do not have a power, and I always say yet. I'm a very late bloomer, but that's okay. Enough about me. What's your power? I'm excited to hear.
My power is that I can skip ahead or backwards in time by 15-second increments.
Wow. That must help with saving people.
It can, yeah. Yes. I have saved people with the use of this power.
It feels like there's a story attached to that statement. Would you like to share it?
Well,
Come on, Bramwell.
If we think of the mechanics of the power I have, if I do see somebody who is in a situation that needs to be corrected, I can skip backwards 15 seconds and try to prevent that from happening. In the same token, if there haven't been a lot of incidents and I'm getting sort of bored, I can skip backwards and use the lag time, because there's a bit of a buffer zone once you skip to get things started again, to set up dangers for them to fall into that I can then rescue them from. So that's where most of my rescues actually happen, the last few hundred that I've done.
Neat.
Okay. Well, hang on. Just so I'm understanding this clearly, you're orchestrating some situations in which people need saving? Like, hopefully nothing too elaborate or serious.
Nothing too elaborate, no. If I see a bunch of teens come in, I'll skip backwards 15 seconds, make sure all the wiggle woggles are in a visible, prominent place.
Gotcha. Okay.
In that lag time again. And that lag time isn't guaranteed. So sometimes people can see me setting up those hazards, and I have to justify why I'm doing that.
So almost like a lifeguard's version of entrapment.
Precisely.
Yeah. I don't want to push the heat on you too much here, but would you have anything to do with this TikTok trend, the wiggle woggle swallowing?
Well, I did. I have a TikTok account, and I do watch those videos, so I try to help boost the algorithm. But beyond that, there's not much I could do.
Gotcha.
Other than just, again, set up the wiggle woggles in a prominent position, put billboards on the pool saying we have extra wiggle woggles.
And your shirt.
And my shirt that says "Try it, eat the woggle."
Well, okay. Well, that's Sal and I aren't saints, you know. We're not saints.
Well, let me ask you this:
At least you're saving
you're
people.
paying my salary through taxes.
Yes.
And Sal, I know that you don't really like that. And so wouldn't you
not a
want
fan.
me, would you rather me just sitting in a chair for my 8-hour shifts? Or would you rather I get some work done?
We're actually getting our money's
He's
worth.
he's starting to coerce me to his side of the argument here.
Yeah.
I can't find any fault because as a reluctant taxpayer, it is nice to hear that you are, earning your dollar.
Yeah.
And if anything, it shows a great deal of problem solving to create the problem that you're solving. So,
And I want to be clear, I've saved hundreds of people in just the last few shifts.
And now I have to ask, kind of as a journalist here, of those 100 people you've saved, how many of them were in situations that they wouldn't have been had you not been present? Like how many of these situations did you cause out of 100?
Well, just over the last few hundred, just all of them have been one that
Yeah.
But I have, in
Angus.
the past, saved people who were, not set up by my little traps.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like years ago, but
Sure.
I've had-
Yes, years ago at this point. Sal, sorry, you had a
all I was going to say is that Bramwell is not technically forcing anyone to do anything. He is simply
It's true.
laying the groundwork for them to fall victim to their own inclinations.
This is true. It's something I need to keep in mind. Obviously, free will exists, and we should be allowed to make our choices. What about jumping ahead? So if you're jumping ahead, you can learn things about the future. Do those things change? I'm really fascinated by this.
Well, I can, but the ability isn't unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to say it depends on the amount of sleep I get the previous night, but usually I only have about 10 skips per day.
Wow. Okay, that's pretty good though. That's not
Pretty
bad.
decent amount.
So if
I
I
mean,
had bad sleep or,
Mhm.
was out at the bar having a couple drinks, my ability to do some skips is very limited the next day. And so I have to make sure if I am skipping ahead or skipping back that I don't put myself in a position where I, skip
Now,
too
if I
far
had-
ahead and miss something important.
Now, if I had this power, I feel like I would live in a hell-like existence because I second guess myself a lot. So I feel like I'd be starting conversations. I'd realize, oh no, I don't want to start, and I'd go back and then I'd start it again. Did you ever have a phase of that, or you seem pretty you seem very sure of yourself? So maybe that's not something you've run into.
It has something I've run into. It helps a lot with meeting people. And if I forget their names, I can just skip back a few skips at the beginning of a conversation to see what they introduce themselves as.
Hang on. You made a clear point of saying our names at the beginning of this podcast. Did you do a skip?
I
at the
did
beginning
do a
of this?
skip. I did.
Wow, I didn't even notice.
Wow. Seamless.
If I do too many skips with people, they do start to notice. Like it's kind of
Okay.
like, how sometimes you're sitting and you go, where did that hour fly by? What did I do in the last? It's probably because I did a skip.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
Shit. That's pretty wild.
Bramwell, I am remembering a previous guest we had. Actually, I think the guest we had before you, who was a risk averter, a risk assessor.
Yes.
And we did speak a bit about their counterpart, the risk asserters, individuals whose job was to manipulate events to increase risks.
That's interesting you bring
And
that up,
events.
Sal.
And I can't help but realize that there's a frightening amount of overlap between what you're describing in your lifeguard work and the Risk Asserters Guild. I don't know if I'm necessarily trying to make a point, but now that I brought it up, is there anything you'd like to speak to about that?
I know nothing about this group, and I have no further comment to make.
All right. Okay. Someone's been media trained. Okay. Well, Sal, I don't want to push back on your idea too much because I love this connection you've drawn. Bramwell is at the very least saving the people he puts into danger.
Yeah, I
This
want
is
to
a
make
fair
that
point.
completely clear. There are some times where I do create risky environments, but like Sal said, I'm not actually endangering people unless they put themselves into those risks. At which point, I then save them. So I would say I am equal.
Now,
You're new,
I
you're
really,
new.
I really
In fact,
don't want to keep needling on this thread.
But I would say net positive, because I do save people who, like I said, aren't the cause of me. So if I
Well, a
save
couple of years
everybody,
ago, yeah.
a couple of years, but still net
Still,
positive.
it's true. It's true.
I, maybe I should let this go. I'm just really curious.
Mm-hmm.
After setting up an event where someone may fall victim to their own inclinations by manipulating the time stream, have you ever approached them with like a deal in order to save their life? You know, kind of like a pact. Or...
Oh, interesting. Yeah, like some kind of binding pact.
That would be a good idea. I don't think the mechanics quite work out with my superpower to allow that.
That's true.
Fair
Because
enough.
you can't freeze time.
I
and talk to
cannot
people.
freeze
No.
time. I can't slow time down. So that's very important. There is
Fair
a
enough.
lag once I do a skip.
Mhm.
The lag is a few seconds.
Everything's got to
long.
re-render.
You know what? I
getcha.
think I'm trying to
Exactly.
grasp at something that isn't there. I was concerned. Once again, we're hot off of that topic from a previous
Sal,
guest. So,
I would also suggest that would be immoral.
fair
Oh
point.
wow.
do
Well,
that. And I don't-
Bramwell, you've made it abundantly clear that you are ultimately a moral person
Yes.
Exactly.
who simply manipulates events to show how moral
Yeah.
you are.
And I would like to say here and now, no matter what your tattoos say, you're saying that you're not a demon, and that's fine.
Yes. I'm not a demon.
Not a demon. Gotcha. Then that's fine. And that's fine. We've had a bit of a demon problem in the last couple.
Well, there are certainly,
I mean,
we all know there are demons in Super City.
Of
tons.
course.
We've had some on the show before. But it always sneaks up on us. Always.
Yes.
I don't think we've ever known a guest was a demon, them coming into the episode.
No,
So
we
it's just
had one demon work at the pool who,
really.
yes, they managed to trick us into hiring them as a lifeguard.
Of
But
that's-
immediately, first shift, they changed the pool water into fire.
fire.
And so,
Yep.
Telltale sign.
once that happened, it was like, it was a long con to get there.
Mhm.
And then first shift, fire water. I think if I was a demon, I would be doing some stuff like that. They don't really have good long-term planning, I've noticed.
No, and like you said, you're very holistic in your approach and stuff like that. So you the danger you put people in is a lot more bespoke. Like it's made for those individuals, and there's some choice involved in it. Which I really appreciate, because I'm a big proponent of choice and free will and all that stuff, especially with all the time traveling and stuff's going on. Some stuff seems like it's destined to happen, and well, I don't really subscribe to that kind of stuff. I just think stuff is likely to happen. You know what I mean, Sal?
Yeah,
It's okay if you don't.
I don't know. Some days I wake up and I figure, well, it feels like today's already going to be a bad day. Am I sort of forfeiting my free will to fate at that point? I don't know. But
Oh, wow.
I will point out that before I turned my arm into cake this morning,
Mhm.
I had something of a premonition that there would be a baked good related incident for me that day, because I stepped out of bed and I stepped into a breakfast cake I had prepared the previous evening for myself.
You evening. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I prepared it the previous evening. I stepped into it in the morning. I was like, this isn't going
Wow.
to be a good day for me in baked goods. But then I went and tried to make another breakfast cake for myself, and here we are.
Wow.
Sal, it sounds to me like you have a bit of an attitude issue with your premonition. I haven't heard you say that you had a positive premonition. It's always the negative stuff. And I think one way that you could fix that would be to pick up swimming. Big mood enhancer. It's a low impact exercise, so there will be no issues on your joints. You won't have you won't have any eggs through hands at the pool, and you'll feel a lot better afterwards.
It's just I'm concerned because I am somewhat inclined to, rushing around slippery surfaces, and I'm worried I may slip at the pool. So it's just I don't want to put myself in that kind of danger. Is there, I don't know.
Well, how about this? Could I strike a bargain with you? That if you swam at one of my pools and I saw you slip, for a price, I could skip back time and prevent that from happening?
Wow. That's
that
a good
seems
deal.
Like quite the deal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I will gladly shake on that deal.
All right.
Just give me one moment here to
1,000
prepare my cake
Oh.
arm here for the shake. Sorry,
Yep.
just a second.
That's
I
right.
won't put the
And,
candles too tightly.
yeah,
Yep.
all right, and let's shake on it.
There we are.
Perfect.
Wow.
Oops, sorry, the candles burst into flames. I'm not a demon. I don't know how
Okay.
that happened. It must have just been the
Yeah.
friction from the handshake.
That was
That
that's
was wild.
There we go.
wow. That was I'm sorry, I just kind of blacked out there for a second. I was like locked in my own body watching that happen. Wow.
I did a skip.
Oh, you did a skip. Wow. Just one?
I think I only have one left.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's a big deal. The last skip of the day, probably.
You can kind of feel it.
Good.
Yeah, you can kind of sense
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Oh, I only got one more in me. Wow. Well, it's been great having you on the show, Bramwell. I really hope someday that I can listen to your radio show about music and lifeguarding and honestly just kind of your outlook on life. It's been really refreshing having you. Wouldn't you agree, Sal?
It has been nice. I feel very tired all of a sudden.
Yeah. You seem drained.
I feel drained.
Yeah.
But you know what? Maybe I just need a visit to the pool, re-energize myself with a good float and soak.
Honestly, I could go for a swim too, to be honest. And I gotta say, I've been scrolling through my phone a lot, and those Woggle goggles, what are they
Woggle
called?
talks.
Woggle talks. I might try it out, honestly. I think I might be able to the one to do it. I eat a lot of stuff, you know what I mean? I could probably eat a pool noodle and be fine. Maybe that's my superpower, Sal.
Oh, wow. I'll put it on the list.
Yeah, maybe. Put a big question mark next to it. Well, Bramwell, thank you so much for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks again for having me.
It sounds like we're going to be seeing a lot of you around the pools because you know what? I think we should get some exercise. Sal, maybe that's the key to you and I. We've been in a bit of a funk lately. You and I have not been going out and exercising. We can hold each other accountable. We'll go swim some laps.
An issue I've had with your new owners is they do not take you out for walkies.
No, they don't. They don't. No matter how much I whine and I claw things. So you know what? I'm done with the barkers. I'm moving out and I'm moving into that weird experimental lab with you. Okay, Sal?
All right. And then
Clear out the cage.
Swimming.
We'll start swimming. And honestly, I get a little tired. Your gravity thing's probably going to make a bit of a whirlpool. I'll just float around you. That'll be great.
It'll be great.
Okay, so thank you, Bramwell. Do you have anything last that you want to say to our guests before you leave? Or
Well, just remember to pack a good pair of goggles if you're going to the pool and avoid the ice beings at the beach.
It's good. It's good advice. It's great advice.
And I wish you both a happy 2023.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you,
or
Bramwell.
whatever year it is, Sal. We had a bit of a time jump there. I don't even know what year it is.
No, we'll stick with 2023.
Yeah, sure. Why not? Simplify it, Well, that's going to do it for us here at Heroes Don't Do Paperwork. For those of you listening at home, remember, try to do the right thing. Sal, do you even own a bathing suit?
A little insulted you would even ask that.
Okay,
No.
hang on.
You know me, I'm a shorts guy. I wear shorts to the pool.
Khaki?
Khaki?
Okay, well, we'll make it work. Hey everybody, Angus here. As always, Sal Bedfellow was played by Matthew Wally. Bramwell Smith was played by Jordan Moffat. Jordan's an improviser and writer living in Ottawa, and Jordan's got a new novelette out right now called Unauthorized Biography. That's available on his website, jordanmoffat.website. There'll be a link in the description if you want to check that out or any of the other stuff he's written. And if you like the show, head on over to podcavern.com. Check out our merch store. We've got lots of cool hats, hoodies, t-shirts, stuff like that. Anything you buy there helps us keep the lights on here. Thanks for listening.